Hi, this is Dr. Grace on part 3 of the relationship series. Part 1, I talked about your relationship with God as the most important one of all because He's your creator, He's your maker, and He created you for a purpose. And He has great plans for you, and He made you unique, and He loves you so much. And you get to know this Creator God through Jesus. The second is your relationship with yourself. It can be called self-concept, self-esteem, but I like to call it identity. How you see yourself will determine how you feel about yourself. And the ideal, the best, the most accurate perspective on yourself is how God sees you. And that identity in Christ Jesus will carry you through in all of your life, in all your relationships. And that takes me to the third, which is really relationship with everyone else around you. So who gets the top priority in your relationship with everyone else around you? For those of you who are married, your spouse gets the top priority. If you are childless, it's not that hard because your spouse is the only person. However, if you have children and that are demanding your time and attention, sometimes the priority can get a little confused and mixed up. And when you lose your sight and priority and you prioritize your emotional energy on your children and neglect your spouse, it can lead to troubled marriage. When there's a trouble in marriage, it does not help your children. Getting along well, not just getting along, but being in love with each other, supporting each other, it's so critical to the well-being of your children. So before you spend your energy on your children, spend your first energy on your spouse. Love on them, support them, make them feel supported and loved. Then you can both take care of your children. And sometimes people can get also confused in their priorities regarding their parents. And I decided to include them in the order. So here's your spouse as a top priority in terms of your relationships. Then comes your children, and then comes your parents. Sometimes in family matters, parents can get involved. They have their opinions about how you should run your life, how you should raise your children, and you may have differences of opinions about a lot of things. You really want to honor them. But when there is a differences of opinion between your spouse and your parents or your family of origin, you need to choose your spouse. There has to be a priority in honoring the wishes of your spouse over the wishes of your parents. Now, there are some extreme cases where it just is not possible. But for the most part, this is the order, and you need to have a happy marriage in order to have happy children and happy family overall. So the marriage between mom and dad is critical. And now if you are already divorced, if you are a single parent, that case is a little different. And I'm only talking about marriages between mom and dad who are together. Now, if you are already separated or divorced, perhaps I would say your children will get that priority. However, I might add, if the other spouse, rather your ex-spouse is in the picture, make sure you respect that ex-spouse and not talk bad about that ex in front of your children. That's very important that you still respect and honor the parent of your child. So keep that in mind. And now, of course, it's easy to number, but life brings in all kinds of situations. You never have a perfect answer for all things, especially in relationships. This is when you need wisdom. In juggling different situations, conflicts, you need wisdom. And what kind of wisdom? You need wisdom from heaven. And God promised in James 1:5 to ask for wisdom for every relational situation, every conflict, in all of your relationships with people all around, including your family, friends, co-workers, even people you run into in school, at work, wherever you may be. You need God's wisdom. Always seek God's wisdom, how to handle every situation that you run into. So this is my advice. And until next time, God bless all of your relationships.